Welcome to Season 5 of Pants Around Ankles Prevention, where my mission is to help you keep your pants securely buckled and avoid that unexpected, awkward, and embarrassing moment when you realize suddenly that they're not. This season, we're going to do things a little differently with Shorts Around Ankles Prevention. Quick, power-packed episodes designed to deliver a punch of truth to help you wake up to a new perspective. Let's see what today's short has in store. What I'm going to talk about today is what won't leave me alone. If you spent any time on my website, you've likely heard me talk about this before, this thing that won't leave me alone. But it won't leave me alone. It seems that behind everything I do, it's lurking. It may be influencing everything I do, but I don't sense that. However, I'm sure it's the driving force behind at least some of the things I do and think about. I call it the desire to grow, to become more than I am now. Now, there's other labels one could put on this urging that drives me. For instance, Michael Beckwith refers to it as an evolutionary impulse. And in Wesleyan Christianity, it would be called prevenient grace. In my mind, though, this drive has always been there. I was born with it. When I was young, I certainly did not understand it the way I do now. But reflecting on my youth, it was clearly in play in much the same way that it is now. Now, I'm very aware that I can be provocative, and that may be where that part of me starts to appear now. But I believe that this impulse is inherent in all human beings and that it is equally vibrant and equally strong in all of us. Now, I'm also clear that each human being's relationship to it and with it is different. Those relationships don't often seem to be consciously selected, and frequently it appears that it's not even thought about at all, much less in these sorts of terms. It would not be wrong to say that's because we are asleep. I think that some of this neglect is quite understandable. That the impulse is present all the time, even while sleeping and dreaming. It doesn't call attention to itself. There's no contrast. It's just this persistent, gentle tugging that's easy to ignore. Like gravity. We're so used to the massive, constant impact of gravity on our lives that we tend to ignore it, not think about it. So even if an individual's neglect of this has been unintentional and somewhat understandable, and even as life experiences have shaped our approach to it, because our experiences can and do, the result is that each human being's relationship to it is different. Why I have responded to it differently than most seem to is a mystery to me. And I don't know, perhaps if I came in with it, perhaps I came in with the tendency to respond the way I have to, I don't know. But what I do know is this: it won't leave me alone. I talked about this in episode 4, titled My Mortality Demon, where I described how my response to it has changed as the realization that I'm running out of runway is settling in on me. So while my response to it seems to have changed, I get the sense that it has not. But what you put your attention on grows. And my attention has certainly been drawn toward it. But I do get a strong sense that it has not changed. It's still there, waiting, tugging. Because my attention is on it, my sense of it has grown. It's still a tug, it's still gentle, but at the same time, it's also louder, more apparent. I suppose it's like a waterfall. The water flow is constant and doesn't change, but as you get closer to it, it literally becomes louder. This impulse is also intelligent. In episode 14, titled What You Seek is Seeking You, I also talked about it. It seems to me that the gentle tugging exists because there is an intent and because it wants something of me or for me. How we respond to it is a choice. We can ignore it. Certainly many people do. We can also work to figure out how to best connect with it as a proactive choice. I recently described it to my wife as an itch. I experience it primarily as discontent. For me, right now, this work that I'm doing to learn to write these newsletters seems to be precisely what I need to be doing. And one of the ways I can tell is that the itch subsides when I'm headed in the right direction. I often don't know where I'm headed, but the itch, the discontent, ebbs and flows in a way to signal me. It's enriching my life. I'm not sure when I first started responding to the tugging, but I remember the first time that I can recall. I've previously written and talked about how I got started in journal writing. I would awaken at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning and be driven downstairs to write. I certainly didn't recognize that I was responding to this evolutionary impulse. I just needed to get stuff out of me so I could get back to sleep. But in hindsight, that's clearly what was happening. What might be tugging at you? What could be in your awareness as restlessness? A feeling that though nothing's wrong, it feels like something isn't right either. Discontent, boredom, an unidentified general low-grade anxiety. It can show up as depression, a recurring thought or theme. Or perhaps you've walked down your path further and you understand that while life is good, it just doesn't seem to be as good as it should or could be. And you know at a deep level that you're right about that. You know, not that there should be something more, but that there is. You're aware that the gap between where you are and where you might be is behind this, let's call it emotional turmoil you might be experiencing. You just aren't yet sure what to do about it. So, if any part of what I've said resonates, maybe just sit quietly for a few minutes sometime soon and ask yourself, what won't leave me alone? See what shows up. You don't have to do anything about it. Just notice. That's a start. If you'd like a deeper dive into this topic, consider subscribing to our newsletter, Waking Up, where we will explore it in even more detail. And if you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. See you soon.